Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game, and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
So this empty room theory goes like this. The reason why you want an empty room, because the empty room is where the opportunity's at. Let me tell you something about me. When I walk into a room and there's 1,000 people already in the room doing what I'm about to do, well, I walk into a room to do something. I walk into a room to do X, and there's 1,000 people already in the room doing X. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm happy because I'm like, all right, there's people in here doing it. That's like social proof. That tells me that there's some people who approve of this, or there's some people doing it already who might have some information or some knowledge or some skills that can help me out. That's a positive thing. But also, I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm like, damn, it might not be that much. It might not be that much opportunity here. There's 1,000 people here doing it, and knowing that if you put 1,000 people in one room, at least 900 of those people are going to be average individuals. I don't care how good, talented, smart, enlightened those people are. You put 1,000 people in a room, 900 of them are going to be average individuals. And remember, the average is relative. I'd rather walk into a room and it be nobody there. I'd rather walk into a room and there's nobody there. I walk into a room to do X and there's nobody else in the room. You know why? Because when I walk into an empty room, I'm like, yo, there's some opportunity in here. There's some opportunity in this room right now. Nobody's taking advantage of this opportunity. I'm about to take advantage of this right here. There's an opportunity for me to do everything that I want to do right here. There's an opportunity for me to eventually get this room to having 1,000 people. Not to say that I never want to be 1,000 people. If it's going to be 1,000 people, I want all 1,000 to have come in there through me. Because that way I'm leveraging something. I'm getting some benefit because all 1,000 came in through me. I mean, they followed me, or they heard about it through me, or they had to pay me, or they had to do something to come through me to get to that room. But if I walk in, there's already 1,000 people there, the opportunity might have passed me by. And again, the number 1,000 again is relative. If we talking about something that's going to grow to 1,000,000 people, 1,000 is nothing. 1,000 is the empty room. But if we talking to something that's going to grow to 1,500 and there's 1,000 already there, you will go a bit behind the curve. Not to say there's not any opportunity, but understand the mentality of what I'm trying to explain to y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take everything I'm saying literally as by the exact numbers, all right? The opportunity is when it ain't nobody else doing the same thing. And sometimes people, they look at opportunities and they like, well, who else is doing it? When they trying to evaluate whether they want to do it or not, they're looking around, let me see who else is doing this thing that I'm thinking about doing. And when they see nobody else doing it, well, here's the first thing people, when they see other people doing it, they like, all right, well, I'm going to do it. Because other people is doing it, that means I can do it. So he did it, my friend did it, my mom did it, I can do it too. All right, that's the way most people look at things. The way I look at things is if I see my mom doing it, my friends doing it, this guy doing it, that guy doing it, I'm like, there's something wrong with this opportunity. Because if all of them are doing it, and knowing that most people are average, even the people that you know, most people are average, that means this opportunity, this ain't the right opportunity. It might be a way for me to get involved, but I got to do it a little bit different. Because if I do it the same way they doing it, then that just makes me even more average than the rest of them. I'd rather go and say, all right, so when I look at something, I'm thinking about doing it. This guy don't want to do it. He don't want to do it. She don't want to do it. She don't want to do it. I'm like, that's the opportunity right there. I'm in the right place. This is exactly where I want to be at. When I walk into a basketball gym, people be asking me, yo, why you be working out in the gym? There's nobody there. Like, that's the point. I don't want, if there's 100 people already in there, then I'm coming to the gym at the wrong time, or I'm going to the wrong gym, or I'm playing the wrong sport. If there's 100 people already there, I'm late. I need to go do something that ain't nobody doing, so then everybody else can follow me. You understand? That's just the way that I think. I don't know if everybody thinks that way. Actually, let me take that back. I know for a fact that most people don't think that way. Most people will do what they see everybody else doing, because that makes them feel like they can do it because they see everybody else doing it. Me, I'm the exact opposite. I look for something that ain't nobody doing. If everybody says, yo, that's a great thing to do, I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. If everybody thinks it's a great thing, that means a whole bunch of average people who agree with it. And if a whole bunch of average people agree on something, then I should probably disagree. I should probably change the way I'm thinking if I'm agreeing with what a whole bunch of average people think is the right thing. A whole bunch of average people are confirming something, then that means something is wrong. I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm in the wrong room. I'm looking at the wrong opportunity. I got the wrong combination to the lock. This is not the right, or I'm opening the wrong lock, or I'm in the wrong room, or I'm thinking the wrong. Something is wrong. All right. If most people are confirming something, something's wrong. All right. If you think about it, you think about all the people you can name. Not even coming from me. Anybody you can name who made a huge dent in the world, they did something that most people thought was ridiculous. How many people, you know how people thought the earth was flat, right? Christopher Columbus said the earth is round, I'm gonna prove it. And what did he do? He went and sailed. Or at least that's the story they tell in the history books. So who knows if that's actually what happened? We know that it's not. But get the story, even if it's a fairy tale. Everybody thought the earth was flat. He said it's round. He went and proved it. Most people thought it was flat. Even the successful people, even the king and queen said this dude's crazy, it's flat. He went and proved that it was round. Steve Jobs said, listen, in the 1970s, he said, look, 40 years from now, everybody's going to be able to hold a phone in their hands. It won't have a cord on it, and you'll be able to talk to anybody in the world, and they'll be able to see you and hear you and talk to you live in person as you're live in action as you're talking. In the mid 70s, people was like, what? Are you out of your... People thought he was crazy, right? They thought he was on drugs. And actually, Steve Jobs did take drugs. So actually, he was on drugs. But they thought the drugs was making him think ridiculously. And maybe they did. But guess what? Ridiculous thoughts lead to ridiculous achievements. And they lead to ridiculous rewards. Now they got people making movies about him and writing books about him. All right, you name one average person who had a movie made about him or a book written about him. They might be an average person, but they did something that wasn't average. That's how the book and the movies come out. You want a book or movie written about you, you got to do something that most people ain't doing, which means you're going to be in disagreement with most people through your actions, words, and thoughts and habits. That's just how it goes. You got to want the empty room. Steve Jobs was in an empty room, figuratively speaking, when he said everybody's going to have a laptop computer. I mean, remember, computers was the size of a vehicle. Computers was the size of an apartment back then. And he said everybody's going to have one that sits in their lap and you'll be able to do everything from a computer. People was like, huh? This is when computer screens, remember computer screens was green or it was black, but the words was all green. That's what computers was like when Steve Jobs said we're going to put it in everybody's lap. Everybody's going to have their own personal computer. Back then, computers was so big, they was bigger than people's houses. And if you bought one, it cost you like $20,000 because it was so hard to make a computer. He said, I'm going to give one to everybody. Everybody's going to have a computer. That was ridiculous. He was in an empty room, figuratively speaking, and he's the one who made the difference. So this conversation right here ain't for everybody because, y'all, I don't think everybody watching this even wants to do that. But if you do, if you happen to be that person, understand that you don't want to walk into a room where everybody else is doing the same thing. Again, figuratively speaking, I don't necessarily mean physically walking into a room. I mean the way that you think, the ideas that you have, the goals that you got. If you're doing something that everybody else is already doing, then you're driving yourself towards being average. Even if you do it better than everybody else, you do the same thing everybody else is doing, but you do it the best, then you kind of driving the average. You're contributing to the average. Now you're above average, so you just raise the average a little bit. You get what I'm saying? So if you want to not contribute to the average, you got to do something that's completely, you know how people say think outside of the box, but now everybody thinks outside of the box. So now you got to don't even get outside of the box. You need to get out of the city, out of the state, out of the country and do something completely different way of thinking, way of being, habitual thoughts, habits. Y'all understand that? Safi 305, I appreciate that. You from Miami? That's South Florida, Safi 305. Can I take any questions from the studio audience? I'll take 1 or 2 questions. Then we're going to wrap up for this morning because I got things to do. Y'all got things to do. There's a whole day's worth of opportunity out there for everybody. Can I take any questions from anyone before we wrap up this Periscope stream? This is Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Make sure you are following me. If you're not following me yet, follow me now so that every time I start doing a live Periscope stream, you can catch it. And if you miss it, you can catch it within 24 hours. Chai Parks, I appreciate that. Can I take a question from anybody? Any questions? Going once, going twice. This is, what's today? Tuesday. Have to do what you do. Absolutely, Storm. Videos on YouTube, how to get past judgment. You just get past it. I mean, there isn't a thing. What have you done that nobody else ain't done yet? That's a great question. There's a lot of things. Doing this Periscope every day. I don't know if anybody else was doing it before me. There's other people that do it now. I don't know who's doing it before me. YouTube. You find somebody who's putting motivational videos and basketball videos on YouTube before me. I'll save you some time and effort and tell you there was nobody. Nobody. There are people doing it now. A lot of people doing it now. But it wasn't nobody doing it before me. Yeah, Jugsy Bug says no questions. Right. YouTube. Basketball videos on YouTube. Athlete. Just an athlete, period. Putting videos on YouTube. Nobody was doing that before me. Nobody. Athletes just making themselves known without being in one of the 4 major professional sports or ever being on TV. I did that too. I never been on TV. Is there a certain challenge to be better than everyone else in the room if it's not empty? Yeah, absolutely. Understand. Like I said, it's a way of thinking. It doesn't necessarily mean every single thing you do, you're going to be the first one doing it. Understand that. Like, you're going to do things that other people are doing, but understand it's a way of thinking, is a mentality. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, you're going to do things that other people are doing. Like, if I go write a book, I'm not the first person in history to write a book, but I'm still going to write it. I'm not the first person in the world to ever play basketball, but I'm still going to play, because I like playing basketball. So understand, you might be a teacher. You're not the first teacher ever. You're not the last. It's a way of thinking. So your methods, your mentality, the way you deal with people, those all can be different. Once you're thinking outside of it, you're doing something that most people ain't doing, that's when you start to create that. Doesn't mean that what you're doing got to be like you just everything you do got to be something you invented from scratch. You understand? There's one way you can get people to buy in is if you can relate it to something that they understand. Understand 90% of people don't think that way. So you got to get the 90% to follow you, you got to be able to relate what you're doing to something that 90% of people understand. 90% of people don't think. So you got to relate to something very simple so that they understand it. Have I always been this way? What way is that? What way are you referring to? I'm always getting better. So the technical answer to your question, Ash Kardash, is no. What's up, Nina? Manu Kayan? I haven't always been this way. I wasn't this way yesterday. I got better between yesterday and today. I mean, technically speaking, but what do you mean by that? Always been this way. I got to know what you mean by this way. Nobody can compete with me being me and I'm the best. Exactly. Nobody can compete with you being who you are as a person. So that's your edge right there for anybody. Is you being you. See, the more that you be you, the better you'll be because you're standing out. Nobody can copy it. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can stop you from doing it. And you don't have no competition because you're just being you. So you need to be you as much as possible. What happens is we get taught from a very young age to be like everybody else. That's school, that's work. You know, that's what it is. One thing, don't they call it standardized testing? You ever be in school and they say standardized tests? Who wants to be standard? Standard means average. So everybody takes the exact same test and everybody's judged on the same criteria. They're trying to teach you to be like everybody else. That right there is a basic point. A standardized test. Who wants to pass a standardized test? Like your mindset on wanting to stand out from the rest. Yeah, I have actually always had that mindset, Ash Kardash. I wasn't able to articulate it and explain it to other people until, you know, let's say the last 5 to 8 years I've been able to start to put it together so that people can get it. But I've always thought that way. I've always been the type of person, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, but I couldn't explain it to nobody. Now I can explain it really well. When I write my next book, I'm going to explain it better than I've been explaining the history of mankind. You'll see. Tiger Yoda says, do you think school is a controlled environment? Yes, school is a controlled environment. And then it's hard for people in the real world. It depends on what people consider to be the real world, just like you put it in quotation marks. If somebody decides to get out of school and then go work at a company, like a corporation or something, then that's pretty much school. It's pretty much the same thing. So they'll actually do great working at that corporation. Now, how long they're going to have that job or how much they enjoy the politics or if they lose their job, get laid off, that's a whole different conversation. But if that's what someone considers to be the real world, they'll do great. If they want to go straight from school to working for somebody else and following those instructions and having somebody tell you what to do, just like a teacher tells you what to do in school, your boss tells you what to do at work. If you're used to that and that's what you consider to be the real world, you will do great in the real world. Now, if the real world to you is, you know, doing your own thing, being an entrepreneur, starting your own enterprise, school is not really going to prepare you for that. Now, some of the fundamentals you learn in school can help you, but you need to get an education outside of school. What makes you better from the day before? What got me better? Well, every day I have a conversation with somebody, I'm going to learn something from them. If I have a conversation with a person, I'm going to learn something. Somebody asks me a question, I'm going to learn something. If anything happens, I'm going to learn something. Everything I do, I learn something. When I write a tweet, I learn something about myself. I learn what I'm thinking. When I make a video, I'm learning something about myself as I'm making this video. I'm learning something about myself watching how many people is tapping the screen for hearts. I'm learning something about myself when people ask me questions because I know that the questions are coming from something that I'm saying or something that I might not have said. That's why somebody's asking me the question. Or something that I said that maybe I wasn't clear on. Something I didn't explain a certain way that people didn't get. That's why that person's asking me the question. So I'm always learning more stuff. And now with every question people asking me, I'm like, okay, maybe something that I said wasn't clear enough. Or maybe I said something that led to that question. And that can give me 1,000 more ideas for how I do my next one. That give me an idea for a book. That give me an idea for a speech. That give me an idea for the person I'm about to call in 30 minutes and we talking about something completely different. You understand? When am I going to get that private jet? Oh, I already got it. It just didn't arrive yet. That's the way you think about it. So I already got the jet. They just didn't deliver it yet. They ain't deliver it yet. They putting the engine and the wings on it. You know what I mean? It's like you tell people the check is in the mail. Is that an Arabic tat? No, it's Chinese. It means ambition. And I know it means ambition. It's funny when people got tats that's not in their language, because then they might get the wrong word, but I know it's ambition. What advice do I have for people who feel they are failures? Read my book. Read all of my books. Actually, read the Mental Handbook, read the Mirror of Motivation, and read the Super You. Those 3 books are all about the mental side of everything. The mental side of sports, the mental side of life. The Mental Handbook, the Mirror of Motivation. You can tell what they're about without even reading them. And then the Super You is about confidence. But I'm going to write another book on confidence. It's going to be 10 times better than the Super You. But if you ain't read the Super You yet, still read it. Yes, I have. I have written 5 books. Who is that? Betanavini. Yes, I've written 5 books. You can find them on Amazon. Do I price my books on iTunes, iBooks? They're on Amazon, because Amazon actually offers a better platform. So Mental Handbook, Mirror Motivation, Super You are only on Amazon. Amazon, Kindle, whatever you like. And iBooks, I got some books on iBooks. Like a lot of my training programs are on iBooks. My book Buy a Game is on iBooks. If you just look on either store, just type in my name, Dre Baldwin, you'll see all the books come up. But yeah, the Mental Handbook, the Mirror Motivation, the Super You, the Overseas Basketball Blueprint, which is for players trying to play ball overseas, and Buy a Game you can actually read for free. So if you want to read one of my books for free just to see my style, just go to, he said he bought a Buy a Game before it was free. Well, I appreciate that. Listen, authors don't make money off books, so don't feel bad that you paid for it. You paid, what was it, $3, $5? It's nothing. What I was about to say, though, you can read my first book, Buy a Game, for free. Just go to dreallday.com, click on that link, and you can read that book completely for free. And don't worry, Tiger Yoda, I'm gonna put out so much free stuff over the next couple years that you'll feel like you want to pay. Am I currently writing a book? I'm always working on something. I'm always working on some books, and I got, even when I make videos, like the stuff that I talk about in this video right here could be content for a book. You know, so I'm always technically writing a book. You know what I'm saying? Most questions can be answered by me saying, read my books. Yeah, you're right about that, but most people don't read. So sometimes you got to give it to them in a different format. Everybody doesn't read books. So you might have to read a book, then go make a rap song about it. Not saying that I would, but you understand what I'm saying. Somebody might read a book, go make a rap song talking about the thing they learned in the book. And somebody who never reads a book but listens to rap hears it and they're like, oh, that's a great idea. That they never would have got if they hadn't listened to that music because they don't read. But the people who do read, that's who I write the books for. The people who don't read, then I do Periscope and YouTube and, tweets. People read a tweet, they won't read a book. You get it? Tiger said, I'm reading Revelations. One you recommended about the rapper who became a pastor. Yeah, his name is Mace, M-A$E. I actually liked that book. It wasn't bad. The best rapper book I ever read was this dude named Prodigy from the group called Mobb Deep. That was a really good book. Do I share my goals with people? Some of them. One of my goals is I need to get 1,000 followers on Periscope. There's a goal right there. And I need to get 1 million hearts. How many people do I let me read my books before I publish it? Or I get somebody who's an editor, and I'll let them read it. Or if I don't feel like getting an editor, I just put it out. It's like Grant Cardone said, my books aren't the best written, they're best sellers. It's not about it being the best written, it's about it, as long as people get the point. He said that's why people's knowledge is so limited, because they don't read. That's one reason. Another reason people don't think, and the third reason people don't act. So it's 3 parts. That's 33% of it is that they don't read. Another one is that people don't think, and another one is people don't take action on the things that they know. All right, so this one is over, ladies and gentlemen. I want everybody to go out there, have a fantastic day. I will do another Periscope before the end of the day today. Make sure you are following me so you can catch everything I'm putting out here. Because, listen, like I said, one of my goals is to get to 1,000 followers on Periscope. So that's one of my goals. Another goal is to get 1 million hearts on Periscope. So I haven't done either one of those things yet, so that's what I'm striving for. All right, everybody have a fantastic day. I'll see y'all later on this afternoon. Work on your game, dreallday.com. Make sure you get my first book, Buy a Game. It is free. Click the link right here below in the video description. I'm on all your favorite social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. All the links are right down here below. It's either Dre Baldwin or Dre All Day on each one of those sites. And make sure you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button down there and the thumbs up like button. Subscribe so you catch all the new content. I work on your game. Dre All Day.